Hello, dear learners. Welcome to Exploring an Understanding of How Research Supports Yoga for Mental Health. Let's set forth on a journey of exploration, gently weaving the threads of research into the fabric of our own knowledge and skills. So, whether you're a therapist, a teacher, or simply a seeker of knowledge, I invite you to embrace these moments with a sense of gentle curiosity and openness. I'm your host, Judy Thompson, and in today's segment, we will be exploring the publication, Promoting Mental Health and Wellbeing in Schools, the Impact of Yoga on Young People's Relaxation and Stress Levels, published May 2023 in the journal Frontiers in Psychology. Authored by Ingunn Hagen, Solbjørg Skjelstad, and Usha Siddhana Nayar. Today's episode explores a Norwegian study that looks into yoga interventions in schools and how they might improve student mental health and relaxation. With stress and anxiety rising among youth, this research is increasingly important. We will analyze the study's details and discuss yoga's potential in education, possibly changing how we handle mental health in schools. We'll also look into the connection between a consistent yoga practice and its impact in helping to bring a calming effect on the mind. Does the traditional practice of yoga have a future place in helping students have access to better skills for stress management and emotional balance? Let's find out. The study we are looking at highlights the role of yoga in significantly impacting student mental health and relaxation. The article references qualitative data from a European research project called Hippocampus, Promoting Mental Health and Well-being Among Young People Through Yoga, which lasted 26 months in 5 countries and reached over 750 youth and their teachers. The findings suggest that yoga can make a noticeable impact on students' daily lives. The research takes into account the increase of mental health issues in adolescents and young adults. With rising rates of depression and anxiety and decreased life satisfaction, about half of the study's young female participants reported overwhelming stress and depression. The Hippocampus Yoga intervention, spearheaded by UK's Charlotta Martinez and detailed on teenyoga.com, was brought to life by 7 certified yoga instructors. Each week of the program built upon the last, reinforcing core values like collaboration, compassion, and empowerment. The initiative, guided by a structured manual available at Hippocampus Project, aimed to provide youths with a foundational yoga toolkit for personal development. Participants engaged in a curriculum that emphasized consistent practice and the application of yoga's ethical principles, including yamas and niyamas from the Yoga Sutras, promoting good relationships and peace of mind. Spread out over 8 weeks, the program's curriculum was meticulously planned with weekly themes ranging from nourishing and building focus to compassion with self and others and optimism. Progressively, the sessions introduced concepts like trust, meditation for cultivating loving kindness, and radical self-care, concluding with an emphasis on self-practice to foster ongoing yoga engagement at home. These themes not only enhance the participants' understanding of yoga, but also aim to help the students with holistic development through practices such as posture, breath control, and meditation. Youth mental health continues to be a concern, with constant social media pressures and a higher rise in a sedentary lifestyle believed to play significant roles. The study further links high educational performance pressures as another source of stress. Research from the study focused on a qualitative assessment of yoga interventions. The aim was to see if yoga's physical and meditative aspects could counter these life stressors. Results showed that regular yoga helps students become aware of and effectively manage their stress. Data was carefully collected using 9 detailed interviews and 133 logs to thoroughly document participants' experiences. Analysis highlighted key themes, especially the recognition and value of the relaxation yoga encouraged in students. As researchers analyzed the qualitative information from the teenagers in the study, they noticed a rise in feedback that pointed to yoga promoting a sense of mental ease. Students reported feeling calmer and more attuned to their need for rest. They also noticed a shift in how the students viewed relaxation, highlighting its role in reducing stress. The project specifically targeted those facing challenges, such as teenagers dealing with mental health issues and socioeconomic barriers. In this context, yoga demonstrated its value as a fair and accessible means to improve health, with benefits that went beyond the physical to include emotional and mental support. In essence, the research supports that incorporating relaxation and yoga into education could be key in boosting students' mental resilience. It urges schools to reassess their part in students' holistic growth and opens doors for future investigations into additional methods for mental well-being. This study shows an increasing interest in using yoga for improving students' mental health and well-being. Because yoga is more than just physical exercise, it can fit well in schools because it can include deep breathing, mindfulness, and self-reflection, all of which can benefit students' personal growth. Yoga helps students manage academic demands and social situations by providing students with stress-reducing approaches and helping to build resilience. The findings support the idea that a structured school-based yoga program ensures consistent practice. This consistency leads to familiarity, and over time, students begin to internalize the practices. The yoga session is more than a break from academic pressures. It's a time for students to discover their strengths and weaknesses, encouraging all-around growth and self-respect. This development also impacts social dynamic because practicing yoga together can build a sense of community and increase empathy, creating a shared experience of growth. Because yoga has been found to be an effective stress management technique, offering yoga in schools may help address the mental health crisis affecting young people. Yoga is inclusive and adaptable, allowing students of all backgrounds and needs to benefit. Putting yoga in school curricula can help improve a student's concentration, reduce stress, foster empathy, and help students improve their sleep. Yoga's introduction in schools could lead to a more balanced, health-focused educational approach, enhancing students' mental, emotional, and physical health. The Norwegian study shows that students facing challenges, including academic stress and complex social dynamics, experienced a notable drop in stress and anxiety levels after they began participating in the yoga-based school program. One student's account particularly illustrates this when they stated, "It felt good to have some variation today. It was nice to start as before by focusing on the breath, and after some time to go on to do some stretching to soften up the body in the middle of the school day. In the end, I almost fell asleep since I got so relaxed and I could feel that this was something I needed." What the student described was the relaxation response, which extended into the mental realm, as was reported in the qualitative data. Students experienced what they described as mental stillness, where the often incessant internal dialogue, marked by worries of past events and anxieties about future endeavors, was quieted. Through guided meditations and the mindful aspects of yoga, the practice seemed to create space for positive thoughts and an acceptance of the present moment. Teachers also noticed the significant impact. They reported that yoga improved important coping skills such as resilience, focus, and emotional control. Combining these experiences, a consistent element stood out, the element of choice. Yoga gave students the option to use calming breaths when stressed, to choose a grounding posture during turmoil, and to apply mindfulness from yoga in their daily behavior and responses. It's important to note that the yoga practices were not a good fit for all participants. While the majority experienced yoga as a relaxing activity, a few participants expressed feeling negative sensations like boredom, discomfort, dizziness, headaches, and muscle pain. Some of these discomforts might be associated with the youth's conditions of PTSD and past traumas, since many of the participants had a refugee background. But nonetheless, yoga interventions for future approaches include recommendations for more yoga breathing techniques and the development of a safe and trustworthy environment for all participants. Yoga does offer a way of working with the body, the breath, and the mind. Movement and exercise are known to be beneficial in reducing stress, enhancing sleep quality, and helping to regulate emotions. Yoga adds to these benefits by incorporating postures that require focus and balance. Additionally, the integration of coordinated breathing with movement has been found to be effective at positively impacting the vagus nerve through the slowing down of the breathing rate and by emphasizing longer exhalations. Improving the vagal tone also helps with digestion and enhances the functioning of other body organs. Additionally, when the vagus nerve is activated through safe social engagement, there is an increase in clear thinking, learning integration, and emotion regulation. One of yoga's major benefits for stress relief and emotional health is that of empowerment. The act of focusing not just on the movements and postures, but also on exercising choice and independence, creates a sense of self-confidence in the student. The qualitative information from the study supports the use of yoga practices as a pathway to building resilience and improving emotional well-being. The link between yoga and sleep is a key aspect of health, since adolescents frequently struggle with sleep due to technology use, academic stress, and social challenges. We know that adequate sleep is crucial for brain function, emotion control, and mental health. The Norwegian study highlights that students notice better sleep after starting structured yoga at school. These findings suggest yoga's benefits extend beyond just physical health, with yoga helping the students relax and improve their sleep. Students in the study who were practicing yoga, especially yoga nidra and restorative poses, reported finding it easier to relax and transition to sleep. This would be attributed to the activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, which manages relaxation and helps prepare the body for rest. As a result, students reported falling asleep faster and feeling more refreshed and alert the next day. Additionally, regular yoga practice helped them become more self-aware, prompting changes like reducing screen time before sleep and improving their sleep environment, taking advantage of the self-regulation skills cultivated through yoga. The qualitative data shows that regular yoga may act as a protective factor against stress' negative impact on sleep. The Norwegian school study results highlighted yoga's role not just as a school activity, but as a mechanism for transformation. Students participating in yoga practices showed heightened awareness in their physical body, in their breathing, in their thoughts, and also in their choices and behavior. This heightened awareness creates the foundational aspects that lead to empowerment, enabling young individuals to observe themselves objectively and to choose their responses to various circumstances more proactively. Students recognized that they needed to decrease their stress, which made them prioritize their well-being. Yoga served as a tool that showed them their habits and tendencies, allowing many to see the often overlooked need for sufficient sleep and downtime. The study pointed out stories where students, using the self-awareness developed through yoga, decided to cut off social media and sleep instead. Surprisingly, this change went beyond just personal habits. It also affected their academic lives. Yoga helps students achieve a new level of balance, dealing with stress and educational demands with a steady mindset. The physical elements of yoga, combined with deliberate breathing and periods of calm, provided them with strategies to cope with the challenges of balancing school and life. As schools consider yoga for its benefits, its key value is in recognizing where choices are made. Consistent yoga can help to make teens more resilient and be better prepared to handle the stressors of life and life choices. Yoga's benefit in education is not just about helping students to improve academically, it's about helping students develop life skills around self-awareness, self-control, and finding balance. While we have explored how yoga can benefit mental health in schools, it's important to also consider the obstacles. Implementing yoga in educational settings comes with difficulties. People have different views on yoga. Some see it as a spiritual or cultural practice that might conflict with the values, beliefs, or religious choices of families. It is important to present yoga interventions in ways that are inclusive and secular. Schools must find instructors skilled in teaching yoga to children in an educational, secular, and adaptable way. Schools would also need to ensure that there is enough space in the classroom for children to practice safely. All research has limitations, and this study, while detailed in qualitative methods, was impacted by high attrition, common in long-term research. Reliance on self-reported data introduces biases and the subjectivity of experiences, possibly resulting in not fully capturing the outcomes of the yoga intervention. It's important to replicate the research in varied cultural contexts to validate its general application. Among the points to consider in the future is that although many participants noted feeling calmer and more relaxed than usual, it's common for some individuals to experience heightened stress when attempting to relax or during periods of relaxation. Furthermore, several participants expressed dissatisfaction with the strict adherence to political correctness in the yoga sessions, which prohibited laughter and stifled enjoyment. Additionally, the quiet nature of yoga did not resonate with everyone, particularly among some male participants who found it too subdued. Disappointment was also expressed by some who did not observe the health improvements or changes they expected from practicing yoga. Moreover, a few male participants criticized yoga as being overly feminine or derogatory to their masculinity, which led them to disengage from the practice. This perception, along with societal masculine ideals, has been identified as a barrier to yoga participation among men. It is thought that this may be influenced by the fact that yoga, in many Western countries, is predominantly practiced by women. Framing yoga as a one-size-fits-all solution is impractical. Yoga should be presented as one of many tools available for supporting mental health and wellness, while also being aware of individual needs and preferences. And while the current findings are encouraging, there is a need for further investigation with larger sample sizes, randomized controlled trials, and robust mixed method approaches to provide more conclusive evidence of yoga's impact on mental health, particularly in the setting of schools. Embracing yoga as a mental health intervention in schools does hold great promise, but recognizing the challenges and limitations of this approach is important so as to ensure its place in being effective, inclusive, and adaptable to the diversity of students. As we wrap up today's discussion on yoga's role in mental health within education, let's summarize our key takeaways. We've looked at how yoga can help to improve wellness in young people. The Norwegian study shows that yoga in schools could significantly improve students' mental health and improve relaxation. These benefits are consistent among those who practice the breathing and movements of yoga. We've also learned about yoga's ability to help reduce stress, which is a major issue for mental health, particularly in teenagers. Yoga's relaxation and mindfulness techniques not only help to reduce stress and anxiety, but also help teach students different ways of coping with emotional stress. In addition to its benefits for mental and emotional balance, yoga's positive impact on sleep quality was emphasized in this study. The research suggests that regular yoga practice leads to better sleep, highlighting the link between physical relaxation and mental calmness. The aspect of empowerment in yoga was also highlighted, showing how yoga improves self-awareness and promotes healthier life choices. Yoga gives students more control over their health, helping them make choices more mindfully and with greater intention. We also looked at the challenges of incorporating yoga into traditional educational environments, including barriers to logistical issues and awareness around secularization and cultural views. I invite you to consider some of these highlights and limitations, particularly if you work in the school system or if you work with children, adolescents, or teens. How might some of the highlights help kids that you work with? Thank you to the authors and publisher for all of the research in this important study, promoting mental health and well-being in schools, the impact of yoga on young people's relaxation and stress levels. For those eager to continue exploring, or for anyone seeking more in-depth information, additional resources and supplementary materials can be accessed within the links provided in the episode description. As we end our time together, remember to embrace and witness the beauty of life and within shared experience, be the thread that creates compassion and curiosity for others. Thank you for joining me on this journey in learning how research supports yoga and integrative practices for mental health and well-being. May you find and share beauty and peace on your journey toward wellness.